Good. Dr. Pilgrim.
This is Devin Clark, my caseworker at LifePath.
Great. So what's up?
Not much. You?
Where are you living?
I'm back on the street because the college bought the apartment complex, and they
Evicted everybody that was there.
and everybody who leases up were in August. Anybody who leases up in December gets to stay there till December.
Right. Because that's a whole legal battle they didn't want to fight, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing on a daily basis?
I've just been chilling on a daily basis since I don't have college. I'm taking a break off from college at the moment.
Okay. Taking your meds?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Missing any doses?
Once or twice, but that's about it.
And I understand there were some questions about his ability to work.
That's not my intent being here,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
he wanted to share that with me. So
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what is it that you're looking for?
Like, I just wanted you to explain, like, what's your thoughts on my
On
ability.
your overall heart?
Yeah,
Okay, so the heart muscle itself, if we think about a heart muscle and how it normally forms, there is a part of when the heart is developing where the heart muscle actually compacts. If you take a sponge and you compress it, you can actually take all of that tissue and compress it down into a nice tight compacted layer.
yeah,
That's what the heart muscle should do. Yours didn't. So
yeah.
that left side, that left pump, looks like a sponge that's not been squeezed. Okay,
Yeah.
It's a spongiform kind of cardiomyopathy that we call non-compaction. Overall, your heart function is actually held relatively stable. It's probably low normal to maybe slightly reduced on the left side. In addition to that problem, we also have the primary issue with your heart has to do with your tricuspid valve, the valve between the upper and lower chamber on the right side.
Yeah,
And that valve, the tricuspid valve, actually has a valve problem called an Ebstein's anomaly, which means
Yeah.
that one of the leaflets, instead of being up where it's supposed to live, lives further down in the chamber. And actually, a lot of the right ventricle is, although it's right ventricle, the pump, it lives above the valve, which means the squeeze of that pump can also be problematic. I would
Yeah.
say that the right heart function is also probably mildly reduced as a result of your Ebstein's anomaly. That valve itself leaks, if we put it between 1 and 4 plus, with 4 being really wicked leak and 1 being very mild leak, it's probably a 2.
yeah. So it's about halfway there.
Right, and we've talked in the past about some imaging for your heart with an MRI to see what your heart function looks like and whether or not that is something that we wanted to undertake as far as a surgical procedure.
Yeah.
Given your left heart function and the left heart muscle problem, that's not something that most people were thrilled about doing. So we've been medically managing your heart problem.
Yeah.
But as far as
What do you mean? What do you mean by people weren't
putting you on bypass and actually doing an operation to fix that right-sided valve puts your left heart at risk.
And I'm more likely to die.
You're more likely to have, well, not die. I mean, yes, there is an increased risk potentially of an outcome of death, but still that risk would be quite small, single digits, low
Right.
single digit percentage. The more likely scenario would be that you would come out with depressed function. So the function, instead of being low normal to mildly reduced, would come out as a moderately reduced function type of a problem, which may actually accelerate the need to do something different for your heart. So right now, at least, we've been medically managing you with both the carvedilol and the lisinopril. Those are medicines that are both used in heart failure or congestive heart failure to help support heart function.
Yeah.
And we've actually been able to achieve relatively good success in maintaining good stability in your heart function with those medicines. I would like today, we actually can bump up that carvedilol even further. We went up to 12.5 previously, we can go to 25 twice a day on that. That's
Right.
maxed out there. Okay,
Right.
and the lisinopril dose you're on is a good solid moderate dose there as well. So I think we're on good therapy if I get your carvedilol bumped up to 25 twice a day, which I
Right.
think your blood pressure will
And
tolerate.
so basically, how long do you think I would have before we would have to go like for surgery and everything?
That depends. Sir, I think we can live like this for a really long time without
Right.
needing to do anything, and I think that's the debate, is whether or not we would ever even entertain surgery for your heart, given that left ventricular issue.
Even if it was a full-on transplant.
Transplant's a whole other story. Transplant is something that if we got to that point where I can only medically manage you to so far, right? And at some point, this is a mechanical problem with a pump that doesn't work great. If it gets to the point where I can't medically manage it anymore, we've gotta get a different pump.
Yeah.
Now, social circumstances here, I can tell you straight up, if you had to go for a transplant today, it would be a no-go. Okay, they just wouldn't list you, because you don't have a home, you don't have an income, you don't have a social support, they would not put you on the list. You would
Yeah.
not be a candidate. So I guess what I would say now is based off of your heart function and how stable your heart function has been over the time that I've taken care of you, I think that you could actually work. Okay, there are certain jobs that would be better for you than others, like I wouldn't
But
put you.
what about psychologically?
That's not my field.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't really comment on your mental capacity to do a job, but as far as the functional capacity of your heart to be able to do a job, you should be able to work an 8-hour shift, doing something. Now, construction's probably not in your best interest, you know, working menial manual labor is probably not in your best interest, but if you're able to find an air-conditioned warehouse job, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
But I would have to take it slow
Well, you do it at your own pace.
if the job's allowing me to do that.
Well, that's something you'd have to bring up with your employer.
Yeah.
But from a heart standpoint, I have lots of patients with really, pardon my language, but really crappy function, okay, that work full jobs and are able to do what they need to do at the pace that the job needs them to do it, and they're able to do that. So, I mean, if we're talking about me saying that you can't work, I don't think I can do that legally. Based off of what I see, this is something I have one of my ER physicians I take care of actually has non-compaction cardiomyopathy, and he's an ER physician, works 12-hour shifts and does just fine.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that, you know.
So with disability and everything, what do you think I should still be going for?
So the disability application, the reason why we've tried so hard for that is number one, you need long-term heart health, okay, long-term heart care,
Yeah.
right? Your heart in and of itself is not a reason for you to get on disability. I was told previously, when your parents were here, that you had issues in school and that you'd have gone through formal testing in school and that you had tested out to need a 504 plan and that there was, you know, special ed things that were in place and so on and so forth. So I was led to believe, based off of that testing, that there may be an intellectual issue as far as whether or not you would need or qualify on a mental capacity basis for disability. And that's unfortunately not my field. And so I can't really comment on that, but if that testing has been done in the past, and I know David Marsden has been involved in this in the past, and if that testing has been done in the past, it should be fairly easily found in the school system to be able to prove that that testing's been done and be the linchpin for a application for disability. If it doesn't go through, there's not a whole lot I can do, other than say, get a job and get insurance.
Do you have your school records?
I can.
Do you remember where you went to school?
My most recent school was Gwen Special Program Center in Plano.
Mm-hmm.
I can try to give them a call, try to get all those
Did
medical
you ever
records.
give those lawyers your school records?
No.
So that may be another thing we want to add to that list is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean,
Yeah.
from a heart standpoint, you got a heart problem. You got a couple of them. You're on some medicines to help support heart function.
Yeah.
But that's not a reason why you can't work.
The main reason is the
Intellectual issue with needing
Yeah.
special ed in school and ability to focus and all of that.
yeah.
And some of that may be able to be medically managed as well. That's not my field, so I can't
Yeah.
really comment. If they can medically manage it and get it controlled to where you're functional and be able to work, they're gonna say no to a disability application,
Yeah.
which puts us back at square one.
That's probably why you've been denied several times as well. So,
And you got. I've been going for my heart instead of a.
correct.
Yeah.
And I was clear, I talked to the lawyer before about this, and I said, listen, from a heart standpoint, I don't have a whole lot to go on for disability, but he needs long-term heart care. And so whether it's through disability application or it's get a job in insurance, we need to have some kind of coverage there in order to do it. So far, Cook has been very charitable in being able to provide charity services for him to get care. But we've just recently had to reapply for that because you outgrew it, you aged out of it. I think it's only for a year or two that it's not an indefinite thing.
Yeah.
You get it and it's for a period of time. and I think that expired actually this month,
It expired,
maybe even last month, I don't remember.
yeah, I don't remember.
So we're reapplying for that for another period of time for them to cover your medicines. They've been paying for your medicines, they've been paying for your care, all of your testing, your visits with me,
Yeah.
echoes, whatever we've had to do, they've covered, which is great. But that can't be the long-term solution.
Yeah, I know, I gotta, so I mean, I do gotta get, so we do need to get those, papers from my school.
That or job, those are the
I-
two directions.
I feel as if I talk to Gwen Spectral Graham Center, I can get the transcripts from them, and then I just need the
But
stuff
remember,
from,
applying for disability will take several years,
I know.
and
I'm already
should be
applied for
done.
disability.
Well,
I can talk to my lawyers about maybe switching lawyer to you guys.
well, that still doesn't guarantee anything, and so the problem is what if it runs out again,
And we still don't have a solution.
and then what? You know, and you don't have the SSI or SSDI,
Yeah.
then
And then we're not on medicines anymore, and what happens to your heart function as a result of not being on medicines?
I think
It's not great.
it's a good idea to consider looking at some work. I just think that's
Even
what
if it's just, 4 hours a day, something.
It doesn't have to be a lot because that won't stop you from getting SSI or SSDI necessarily.
More of an 8-hour job
I
would.
think staying outside. I think your doctor may agree, but I think staying outside and living outside is going to be more stressful and
Oh,
more
for
on
sure.
your heart than working
Yeah.
part time.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Having some kind of stable job gives you some social structure.
Yeah, it's like
gives
with
you
how the
financial
economy
income.
is today, with how the economy is today, and basically I would have to have like 5 or 6 roommates in order to be able to freaking keep a freaking 1-bedroom apartment.
I mean, there are issues there, right?
Yeah.
We've talked before about shelters. There's all
You
kinds
know,
of
I
shelters.
was almost raped in one.
there are other things.
There are other
There are other
ways.
things.
There are other
I've
ways.
got resources. We got you into an apartment for how many months? 8 months.
Yeah.
7 months. See, there are ways. There are ways.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways to fix this. It's just, there has to be a fairly systematic approach to get it done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to tackle the disability thing through your heart status.
Yeah.
Because I have patients who are listed for transplant that are still working,
Yeah.
right? So that's not something that's gonna keep you.
It's more of my psychiatric.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a bona fide 504 plan from your school that says that you were tested and this is the outcome and this is the reason why we think, and unfortunately, we don't have access to parents anymore. Or
Yeah.
if we do, that's very,
Typically, from my understanding, that testing needs to be done before the age of 18.
and it was in the high school is what I was told, but I
So
don't know that.
if it was, and we can get access to it because your current diagnosis is not that. So
Yeah.
psychologically, I don't think getting SSIs. That's why we wanted to look at the medical end because it's not there psychologically unless your school has something. So we can look at that though. I think
Yeah,
it's
the
something-
most recent school I went to was Gwen Spectral Program Center, which helped me get the rest of my high school diploma,
Yeah.
and that was last year, 2018. I was 21, so
But it's probably gonna be even before then.
yeah.
If you were you ever in mainstream school?
It was Byron Nelson, but they sent everything over to Gwen Spectral Program Center.
So I'd probably go to the source and just contact Byron Nelson then and see if
But they have everything, but like Gwen Spectral Program Center had my transcripts and all that because they had to have everything sent over
Yeah,
to Gwen Spectral Program Center in order to be
I
able
can
to.
help you find it. We'll find it.
doesn't hurt to reach out to both.
Yeah.
But I think,
Yeah.
as far as resources go, we have access to stuff, is what I'm hearing. Living on the street is certainly not great for your heart. We talked about that.
But I'm not going to risk having that in PTSD again because I will. There isn't a guarantee that I'm not going to go to jail if that happens.
So, yeah, I can't really comment on that. I just know that there
I'm
are
just saying.
shelters.
You don't have to go to a shelter.
Yeah.
We can look at other things.
Other things, yeah.
There are other things.
So, and, it sounds like you're plugged into the right people. we're all trying to help you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm kinda at my wit's end for what I can do from a heart standpoint. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to David, David's going to approve having your medicines paid for again. We're gonna increase the carvedilol dose
Alright.
to 25 twice a day. You really shouldn't feel the difference, your blood pressure should do fine with that.
Yeah.
And the lisinopril will hold at the 20 milligrams, okay?
Alright.
And that'll be where we sit.
Alright.
And probably based on what I'm seeing, the stability of your heart problem being what it is, I'd probably say I'll see you again in 1 year.
Okay.
Okay, I don't need to continue to see you every 6 months. We've now upped your medicines and we're on full dose everything.
Is there anywhere I can get like a 1 year supply so I don't have to keep coming down here every?
Well, that's something I can put in for, and then if David's able to get it paid for through charity, because that's a pending application right now, then we'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to keep coming up
I
here like
understand.
every
No,
3 months or
that's fine.
something just to be able to pick it up and spend 2 hours on training and I can just be
Could
able to get
they
that
send it to a
medication.
pharmacy over there, or?
So that's where I don't know. If it's through our pharmacy, you'd have to come here to pick it up, because I don't think they're
Exactly.
gonna mail it.
Okay.
But it's either that, or you pay for the medicine at a pharmacy. So
And it's
that's,
going to be more expensive at.
it's going to be, well, right now it's free for you, right?
Yeah.
You're paying for it, so.
Yeah, but
it's
when
either
I was but when you had it before, it was like $26 or
at the
something like
At
that
the regular pharmacy.
at your pharmacy downstairs.
Right, but that's something that Cook is picking up and paying for now.
Yeah,
So they're not gonna be able to pay for medicines through the regular pharmacy because it's not their pharmacy.
yeah,
Here, we can basically just write it off. And that's, I
That's worth
believe
the
how,
drive then, sometimes.
right.
Or the bus ride.
So let's take a listen to your heart. Your rhythm looks great. I don't see any issues here. There is a potential long-term rhythm issue with this condition, but we haven't seen that at present.
yeah.
Good. Very much the same.
Yeah.
So I'll make the changes in your medicines, and I'll see you again in about a year.
Alrighty.
Okay?
We do have to get going, so I mean, would I be able to come get my medication tomorrow, hopefully, or?
If you could make your way back down, yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm just wondering how long would it take?
It takes me literally 2 minutes to put that in the computer. I'm just not sure how quickly they can turn it around at the pharmacy downstairs.
Yeah, it's take like 15 minutes for them to get it done. So that's why I'm like asking what would be like, I mean, plus with how long would it take for a charity to go through?
No idea.
Yeah,
Don't know.
that's why I'm wondering if it would be able to what you call it, be able to like if I come down here
I
tomorrow.
would call before you come down. How about that?
Alright, you want me to call the registration or?
Probably just call David
Alright,
and just find out where we're at with the application. He'll be your contact.
alright,
If there's a change, we'll let you know. And then, for now, stay on the medicine you're on, and then the new dose will be available when the charity goes through.
alright.
Okay?
Alright, thank
Good
you.
to see you. All right.
Alright.
Good to meet you.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care.